The Astrid for the ball.
Welcome back to the action here at the PDC Women's Series, where we are into the last 16 of the third event of the weekend, the first event of the day.
25, Joanne's won the ball.
And Joanne Locke is getting an outing on the stream for the first time. A very, very dangerous player. In fact, a multiple semi-finalist on the Women's Series over the first couple of years.
60.
And has made it into the top 10 of the order of merit in each of those years as well. So many people fancy Locke to book her place in Blackpool for the first ever Women's World Match Play. That is something that all of these players are fighting it out for. 8 places up for grabs in the first ever PDC televised women's tournament. And the top 8 after 12 events will qualify. Standing in Locke's way
100.
is the Dutch darter Astrid Trouwborst,
55.
who has produced some good performances over the last day and a half.
45.
But perhaps without getting the results that she would have wished for. Defeated by Rhiannon Griffiths yesterday in the second event. Rhiannon was fresh off a runner-up spot in the first, but she's won through Chrissy Manley, Rhiannon O'Sullivan and Moshgan Romani. 3 very good wins for Astrid to put herself in this last 16. And in the first event she was beaten by Lisa Ashton in the second round, so only beaten by players that you would expect her to be beaten by.
61. $45.
Chris Murphy back in commentary talking you through this one. Nigel Pearson's earned himself a break.
105.
We will be back together for the quarters, semis and finals of both of today's tournaments. And Joe Locke lands double 10 to take the first leg. Yeah, I've been very, very impressed with Locke on the Women's Series in the
140.
last 2 years. She's reached the semi-finals on 4 occasions, including the very first Women's Series event ever.
85.
Really set her stall out. She had won the Malta Open back in 2019, beating Paula Jacklin in the final.
28.
Does have some pedigree as a top county player.
40.
And I think that Locke could be one of the key protagonists at the Women's Series.
43. $60. $38. $60.
Well, Trouwborst is making good progress in this second leg.
100.
And is down to a finish first. This is the last 16 match, remember. We will have a quarter final after
140.
this, before showing both semis and the final of this first event of the day. Fallon Sherrick is also playing in the last 16 right now. She's 2-1 up on Fonso and Willis.
55.
Well, Locke can't finish now, so Trouwborst will return.
78.
57 for double top. Well, now 54 for double top. Now she's got no chance.
11 scored.
And she'll be left with no chance to win the leg if Locke can land double 19. Or 3 double 8.
22.
All she needed to do was plant another in the 18 and she would have got a dart for the leg at bullseye, but it's been a bit of a mess the last half a dozen darts.
Game shot.
And Jo Locke has taken full advantage, breaking the throw, doubling her lead and moving a step closer to the quarter-finals. It would be a first quarter-final appearance for Jo Locke
104
this weekend. Beaten by Lisa Ashton in round 2 in event 2 after being seen off by Rietbergen, Lorena Rietbergen in the first event. That was after she defeated the 10-time Women's World Champion Trina Gulliver, who is still going strong today, by the way. Gulliver just getting her last 16 match underway against the very impressive Natalie Gilbert when we saw her on the live stream in the very first match of the morning.
100.
We will be with you until what we call up here in Yorkshire tea time.
60.
The remainder of this event and another one to follow. $100. Where we are, the last 16. Jo Locke here 2-0 up against Astrid Trouwborst. Eileen de Graaf 3-0 up on Steph Clark. Donna Maria Raindley, who knocked out Lisa Ashton in the second round, just getting underway against Ros Bulmer. Lorena Rietbergen 1-0 up against Rose Moore. Trina Gulliver 1-0 up against Natalie Gilbert. Rhiannon Griffiths, finalist in event 1, 3-0 up against Mandy Smith. Laura Turner and Corinne Hammond about to get underway, and Fallon Sherrick has been pegged back 2-2 now against Fonso-Anne Willis. And that's a state of play. All of the matches in the last 16 now underway.
$29.
Jo Locke here having it all her own way at the moment.
41.
For 3-0.
29.
Not quite. She would expect to return with 3 darts at double 10. And she will return.
43.
And she hits and is now just 1 away from that quarter-final spot. As I was saying, in the top 10 on the order of merit in each of the previous 2 years. Jo Locke would have been disappointed with her results yesterday. Certainly looks like she's putting that right today. One of the few players actually to have beaten Lisa Ashton at the Women's Series. Managed it
45.
last year. Only 7 women have managed that.
95.
Today it was Donna Maria Raindley who added her name to that list. Makuru Suzuki, Lorraine Winstanley, Locke, Hedman, Sherrick and Hammond the others. But Ashton is out of today's first tournament.
41.
And it would be just like the story of the rivalry between Sherrick and
60.
Ashton for Fallon to go and make it a double today. But there are other dangerous competitors in the field, Joanne Locke being one of them.
100.
Rhiannon Griffiths being another, and she is now in the quarterfinals. A 4-0 win against Mandy Smith. Eileen de Graaf also there. She's seen off Steph Clark 4-0.
43.
A 4-0 win for Joe Locke here is looking less likely. A long, long way behind in leg 4.
65.
And Trouwborst will come back, needing 60 to avoid the whitewash defeat.
41.
You just see the eye roll there from Locke, not happy with how this leg has gone. That might be helpful, it's out of the way, clear bed.
40.
Couldn't find it.
$60. Game shot.
But it will not be a whitewash. Double 10 found by Astrid.
$82. $36.
And nothing to suggest really that Trouwborst can turn this around.
123.
And Locke has suddenly rediscovered the level that put her in that 3-0 lead. It was a completely off leg from Locke. But hang on a minute.
121.
Maybe I was writing Astrid off too soon. Still plenty in hand here though for Joe.
83. $83.
Just have had confirmation of our quarter-final contest here on the streaming board. It will be either Fallon Sherrock or Joanne Willis against Trina Gulliver or Natalie Gilbert. In fact, it will be Fallon Sherrock because she has won that match 4-2. Gilbert, Gulliver, one apiece as things stand. So there will be a little bit of a break, particularly if Locke clears things up now.
Game shot on
Which she has. Brilliant finish. Fantastic use of initiative.